Hey guys, welcome to a new video. And in this one, I want to talk about a question I get asked a lot by my audience, people on the calls, people on the DMs. What would I do if I had to start over? Because I often talk about the problem of online saturation because competition is a real thing online, right? We see the freelancers fighting with low prices and a lot of people sending and spamming DMs and a lot of creators running the same ads, creating the same content. I mean, you can go on Twitter, Instagram, YouTube, you can see this all over the place. It's an issue that just grows bigger over time. However, I was able to solve this problem by myself by doing one thing, and that was talking to my younger self. Okay, you can find videos on my channel about that. But since the younger self concept is what worked for me, that's what I started sharing. That's why I started sharing this concept with my audience, right? But there was one objection that I got several times, again, as I was on the calls and on the Instagram DMs. And it was something like this: Pablo, I understand the younger self concept, but I don't see how it can work for beginners. I mean, you have achieved good results, you have made money, you've grown the channel, you have experience. Clearly, talking to your younger self works for you, but I don't think it can work for beginners who have nothing to prove. Okay? So that's something like the objection I have. So I completely understand this perspective because it's the perspective I had when I started my online journey. However, the results that I've been able to achieve so far did not require me to have results previously. So the results, the channel, the profits, the experience, it all happens because I leveraged my past. Again, without having previous results. So basically, and to expand this content, to explain this concept better, I want to show you guys what would I do if I had to start all over again with no results, no experience, no proof, so you guys can have clarity on this perspective. Okay, so let's talk about it. If I had to start over, I'm gonna summarize this in 3 points. Number one, I wouldn't start an online business. Number two, I wouldn't create any offers. And number three, I would leverage creativity. Let's start with a concept I learned from this guy, Danko, and that is mental masturbation. Now, I know this name is a little bit weird when I first read about it, but let me explain. Have you noticed, guys, how when you get into self-development, you read a lot of books, you watch a lot of videos, but then you find yourself procrastinating? At least this happened to me. And there is a point where you realize, you've been consuming a lot of information, but you haven't really taken action, right? This is known as mental masturbation, and it happens to a lot of people. It's normal. It feels good to actually consume great ideas, especially when you're starting out, right? The books, the videos, the podcasts, it actually feels good. Mental masturbation could feel like you're making progress, but it's tricky, guys, because while you think you're being productive, you're just increasing your awareness. Now, awareness can only give us hints on what to do, but it cannot solve our problems. Awareness is good, but implementing the information we learn is what creates real progress. There are a lot of people learning, but only a few actually implement the stuff they learn. So how can we be one of those people who actually take action? Well, we do it with the creative path. And just to show you here, guys, awareness is what gets us into the game, implementation is how you level up, and creativity is how you implement. All right, so you can be creative by aligning the information you're consuming to your current life situation. There are lots of ways to be creative. A lot of people choose I wouldn't say creative path of like sending DMs and all these things. That's more like just doing what everyone else does. In this video, I want to talk about like how to actually be creative and unique from your current situation. So when you take the information you're learning and you align it to your situation, it allows you to identify the gaps in your current situation. For example, you can ask yourself, in what areas of your life are you lacking the information you're learning from the book, from the podcast? If you're implementing that information already, how are you doing it? And if you already implemented that information, what were the results you got? Answering these questions, guys, by getting creative is how you can start taking intentional action. Now, this requires consuming information moderately, so not consuming a lot of information and being overwhelmed. Instead, you actually are intentional of what are the things that you want to consume, and then you are more selective on what you want to consume, so that you have room for implementation. Okay, this is the important step, because this is how you find the balance that allows real growth. Okay, again, instead of consuming a lot of information and not taking action, you be selective, and then you have room for actual implementation. Now, guys, getting creative with the knowledge you're consuming is so key because it helps you start your own project. It helps you implement as you learn. It reinforces the things that you're learning. It helps you start practicing skills. It helps you serve those people behind you. It solves the problem of procrastination. I could list a lot of benefits here, but that's not my point. I guess you're getting the point, right? Creativity is the key. Now, we also got to understand creator stages because when it comes to the people who think they cannot be creative if they don't have results, that's because they have an offer. A lot of people have an offer. And to sell an offer, of course, you need to have results. But the younger self concept is different, guys. For this concept to work effectively, you must recognize your creator stage. For example, my current stage right now, as I'm recording this, is different compared to most of the people in my audience, to most of the people who I talk on the calls and on the DMs. At my current stage, I can have an offer. Why? I created content, it got me into video editing. Then with that skill, I was able to create tutorials. The tutorials allowed me to grow an audience on YouTube. This audience helped me get to my first 10K, and therefore I can teach other people about authentic profits and how to actually monetize online, ethically and organically. So it makes sense for me to have an offer now. But if I didn't have results, like most beginners, like a lot of people from my audience, I would not be able to give this advice. I would be on a lower creator stage, which is completely fine. Okay, it's where most beginners start. However, I would still be able to leverage the creative path. Beginners are still able to leverage the creative path. I would create my own perspectives about the topics I'm learning. For example, I remember I was learning about self-development books. I was becoming aware in life with better information. I was being more productive. I was being more organized. And I could have been creative with all those things, right? So this would have served the 13, 14, 15-year-old versions of myself. So again, if I was 18 again, I would be able to serve my younger versions at that time, my high school version, let's say. So those younger versions of me were not looking to buy anything. They were just looking for awareness. They were not even looking. I was just playing video games. So if I had became the creator when I was 20 that could talk to these versions of myself and help them become aware, that would have helped me so much in life. And that's the whole point, right? On top of that, I would choose a skill like writing or video editing to start sharing those topics with those younger versions of myself. And developing these skills is what would have eventually get me the clients. And that's the whole point here, guys. No matter where I am in my story, no matter where you are in your story, the younger self concept, it all will always apply. The problem is that people have an offer. When you don't have an offer, you are actually able to talk to others without having to sell them anything, without having to have results so people can believe in what you're selling. Are you getting the points here? So focused on your current situation. That's the only thing you gotta do. Everything starts from the first step of increasing your knowledge and then getting creative with it. Focus on serving others by leveraging your creativity without having an offer if you're a beginner with no results. And it's only this path, guys, the one that actually allows you to level up to get to a higher creator stage, to a point where you can create an organic offer. It's like a video game, guys. You cannot get to level 2 if you have not mastered level 1 first. All right. So remember, awareness is what gets you into the game. Implementation is how you level up, and creativity is how you implement. Hope this helped. As always, you guys can check the Authentic Profits Guide for free for more depth into these topics, and you can also connect with me one-on-one on a call. Apart from that, thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.